Hello Teresa. So I saw your video on your favourite films, and just to say, I am downloading, as we speak, The Hangover. So I'll probably watch that during the weekend, and I might stuff in Ted in there as well. That sounded wrong. And I was going to make a video about my favourite films and recommend some films to you. However, I kind of decided against it because I was all... However, I do want to talk to you about a film which is so bad it's good. You know that type of film? It's so terrible and so awful that its awfulness becomes entertaining and thus makes the film. I will reveal the identity of this film very shortly, but let me just talk a little bit more. You are aware that I am what is known as a Trekkie. I was raised with Star Trek. My first memories as a wee kid was going to Star Trek conventions. I can remember 2 theme songs from my early childhood, okay? One was The Professionals, which was my dad's favourite show, and the other was my mum's favourite show, Star Trek, the original series. I remember having a Do Not Disturb Deep Space Nine door hook. I had a Next Generation poster. In fact, I also have a Voyager poster in my room. I still watch Star Trek, I still love Star Trek. However, there's one part of the Star Trek canon that I simply find awful. And that part of Star Trek canon is, no, not Enterprise, Star Trek the Motionless Picture. Now I know you don't give a damn about Star Trek in any way, shape or form, nor do you really give a damn about sci-fi in general. But I will tell you why Star Trek the Motionless Picture is so terrible. But before I tell you how terrible it is, I want to tell you what it did first in the whole Star Trek universe. It was the first time we saw Scotty with a mustache. Interesting enough, he got the mustache before he got fat, which is an interesting fact to know. It was the first time we saw Klingons with head ridges. It was also the first ever time that we heard the theme tune to Star Trek The Next Generation. Interesting enough, being used in the movie a decade before Star Trek The Next Generation first aired. I can perform many songs in the mouth trumpet. Okay, so let's go into the reasons why Star Trek The Motionless Picture is so bad. Now most of us are familiar with the styles of Star Trek the original series. We know what the bridge looks like, we know what the ship looks like, we know what the aliens look like, we know what the uniforms look like. But Star Trek The Motionless Picture basically looked at all that and said, should we take this and improve it? Nah, let's just chuck it all out and just mess with it and be wild and random and blah. So here are the original Star Trek uniforms, and here are the uniforms in Star Trek The Motionless Picture. They look absolutely terrible. Why is there a belt buckle with no belt? I don't get that. What's the belt buckle for? Is it like the comm badges before the comm badges? Because I don't see anyone tapping their stomachs to, radio back to the ship or anything like that. What? Interestingly enough, the only well-dressed person is Sulu. Look at them styling back in the 70s. Another way in which Star Trek The Motionless Picture was just terrible was the wooden acting. I'm not going to show you the clip because, frankly, I don't want to get sued by Paramount. But there's this one line in the entire movie which I just keep remembering over and over and over again. I think it was because I was watching it with 2 other people, and when it happened, we basically just took the mickey out of it. Basically, Captain Kirk basically turned around. I don't know what Spock was doing, but he just turned and went, Spaahk! Spaahk! He said it exactly like that. He didn't say Spock, he said Spaahk! Spaahk! And we basically spent 5 minutes just sat there watching the movie and just going, Spaahk! Even the way the people die in the movie is wooden. Like, for example, somebody dies in a transporter accident, and dying in the movie is the easiest thing you can do. I mean, for example, I can do this. But even on Star Trek The Motionless Picture, they got it so wrong. And lastly, the third way it was terrible was the cinematography. You had scenes which should have lasted at least 30 seconds, lasting for something like 3 or 5 minutes. Like right at the start of the movie, there's a 5-minute scene where Kirk and Scotty are in a little shuttlecraft and they're flying out to the Enterprise, and they basically just spend 5 minutes gawking at the Enterprise from many different angles. And here's the funny thing, they're supposed to be launching in 12 hours because there's this big glowing ball of energy heading straight for Earth and it might destroy everyone. So why are they taking something like 15 or so minutes to gawk at the Enterprise? Isn't it beautiful, Scotty? I saw it, it's beautiful, but do you not think we should go in now? No, let's just stay out here and gawk at the beautiful Enterprise. Okay, Teresa, I know you don't care about Star Trek. I know you don't care about sci-fi, but I just needed to have that little rant. I'm just going to go and edit this video whilst watching Star Trek: The Motionless Picture. So, yeah, I'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.